Hi guys! Another week has passed, and in this episode I will be talking about my progress on the Skye pullover. I have also decided to frog a long lingering whip, so I'll be showing that off before ripping it out. And I will also be talking a bit about some plotting for a new cast on that I have coming. Hi guys, hope you're well. It's lovely to be back for another episode. My name is Silja. This is my knitting video podcast, anything crafted I do. It's mostly knitting projects, color work, cables, lace, anything that I fancy, and a bit of amigurumi and crochet to top it off. An important thing to note for next week, I'm already thinking about next week, I've been recording on Fridays and publishing on Saturdays. Now the routine of my daily life is changing since my partner did get hired, so he now has a job. So if you watched previous episode, you'll know that he was interviewing for a job, which he did get. So that is awesome. It also means that we're gonna change a bit what days I have available for chatting, etc. I am also started back working, so I'm working half-time. And I think I'll be skipping next week's episode because I will start recording on Mondays to then have it live on Tuesday. I think that should be doable because I will then have Mondays off so I can do the recording with the house quiet, when baby sleeps, as he is now. Hopefully that will work. So no more Saturday morning podcast viewing. I'm sorry about that. Well, you can always save it until the following Saturday. But from now on, or from next time on, I will publish on Tuesday mornings. And I hope that works out for you. If you haven't already, this seems like a good place to plug the whole subscribe, notify, click on the like. I did it in the wrong order, but do all those things. So if you click the notification now, next time I publish on a Tuesday and not a Saturday, you'll know about it. I think that was it for admin, as the podcasters call it. I really don't feel like I'm a podcaster yet, Maybe we should do like a knit along or a something. Is it too early to do like a giveaway when you have 100 subscribers? Is apparently a big deal in YouTube world. So giveaway, anyone? I do have some stuff laying about in my stash I don't know what to do with. If you think that's a good idea, make a comment below and we'll see what happens next time. Maybe I'll figure something out. So, as you can see, today I am wearing the Unst cardigan. It's a design by Wallin that I recently finished. I say finished, I fastened the buttons a couple of months ago now, I guess. And as most of my color work garments, they tend to be lengthy affairs. So if you see me casting on a new one, it'll take 2 years before you see it completing. This one was cast on in 2018 and I only finished it this winter/spring. So I can say briefly about it. I spoke extensively about it in episode, and so this is all over colorwork design. It's feral motifs by Wallin. I did knit it in the Cold for yarn, which is Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift 2-ply, and a fantastic colourwork yarn. I love it. It's a woolen spun 2-ply Shetland wool. All their colours are just so yummily heathered and deep, just, yeah, very expressive. And I chose the colours that are called for in the pattern because these are too many colours to replace. I mean, the repeat, well, for my mind anyways, and I just fell in love with the photo. You know, when that happens, you see a design and you're like, oh, I want that one. Yeah, so this is, I mean, the repeat is this long. That's a long colourwork repeat. And there was a lot of colours. So many colours. 11, 17, 15. A lot of colours in it. And I got nearly all of the colours as called for. I think I replaced 2 of them. A pink. Yeah, this lighter pink. And there was one more colour that they didn't have in stock when I ordered the colour for it, but I got as close to as I could find in stock on their site, basically. So yeah, I'm very pleased with it. It is snug. It has set-in sleeves, which I am super chuffed that I managed to do. To be honest, it was like lingering in the pile to finishing the sleeve caps and then doing the set-in sleeve. That took me about a year because the knitting itself was a breeze up until the sleeve cap. I did some alterations. I did choose to knit it around instead of knitting it flat as it's described in the pattern. So there is a fairly ugly steek going on the inside here. Did not tack it down or anything. It stays in place nicely. It's wool. This side is slightly nicer than this side. And the same is happening inside the armholes. I did not pick up for I did not pick up a knit cover yet, which I might do. I still haven't decided whether to knit a band then tack down over, or to buy a band to cover the steek. Maybe it will never get done. It's kind of how it is. Once it's in rotation, it just doesn't get work done. Then now it's done. It's in use. I'm happy with it. It looks great unless you do this. So yeah, what have you guys been up to? I'm just having some coffee and man, it's been a tiring week, I tell you. I do not have a driver's license. Oh, now you're getting some stories of my life here. I don't have a driver's license. I am a woman of 37 years old. I do not have a driver's license, which I am now getting. I cannot live another winter in Norway and not be mobile, especially not during a pandemic and living in a village. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm working on that driver's license. Not that it would have much mattered because we only have one car. And now that my partner is working, I have to do the kindergarten run. And I have to walk. So it takes me half an hour to work to kindergarten, so I'm getting some exercise. This is the good thing. It's just a bit stressful. Luckily, this week has been lovely weather. The spring is here and it's lovely and sunny outside. Although the one morning it did sleet. Yeah, so not so fun. So I plunked the baby. We have one of these wagons you attach back behind the bicycle that can fit 2 kids in it. So I plonk the baby on one side and the boy that needs to go in the barnehage on the other side, because you know you can't leave the baby at home when you're doing the kindergarten. And yeah, my kid loves it. He's just sat there the whole time staring at his little baby brother, so that's quite sweet. But once we do arrive to the barnehage, he does not want to go in. I know, it's a classic. Everybody's been there, right? So I'm a bit frazzled in the mornings. But having to leave the house does mean, you know, I put some sort of presentable clothing on in the morning, and also knowing that I might have some video conferencing going on in the afternoons, I feel more like a human than I did in a long while. And only getting dressed on Fridays, like to do this recording and chatting to you guys. So yeah, this past week I have been a good girl. I stayed true, was not diverted from the path of knitting on my Skye. I've only done imaginary knitting on other things, but actual knitting I kept to... Oh, blowing out the camera, why? I don't know what happened there. But for actual knitting, I have stayed true to my Skye pullover, and it's getting huge. I'm actually starting to worry if I will have enough of the duck egg color. I thought I would have too much. I've only got this one ball. That should be enough for the yoke. Once I start that along with the contrast color. I am almost done with the raglan decreases because I got as far, I finished the sleeve and sat them on and joined them. So as you can see, is a massive beast of a sweater right now. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of, like, you can't really tell when you're looking at the photo in the pattern, nor when you look at the projects other people have done in Ravelry, how much is actually the texture stitch from the armhole and up. So I'm trying not to worry. I'm sure Marie Wallin knows what she's doing when she's writing patterns, and I haven't got a clue. So I've done this much of a raglan decrease. So, I mean, obviously this decrease doesn't start like here. It starts a little bit like under the arm because there's very few stitches put on hold here for the underarm or the armpit area. And I think I've done about 11 decrease rounds. And I should do 2 or 3 more. I did not have the correct amount of stitches when I joined. I was off on the body. I had too few. I was like, had an in-between sizes kind of amount of stitches. But I mean, I have full repeats of the pattern going around. So maybe when I cast, I can't even remember, maybe when I cast this on, I calculated that I wanted a size in between, and the body has a repeat or so less than the size I'm knitting, because I'm knitting the size 3 or large, if you will. But it doesn't matter because with the raglan decreases here, I need to hit a certain number, 404 stitches or something ridiculous like that, and I just decrease until I have that. So I think I'll do like 1 or 2 decreases less than it's called for in the size 3. And from there on, I will have the correct number of stitches, which, if I don't, that starts as a circular yoke decrease. So then it will be just, you know, I need to be this many stitches to start this part of the pattern. Right, so I can just adjust them there, just decrease a couple more. That will be fine. So yeah, there's a lot of stitches, and I have memorized the twisted stitch pattern now. I was so sure that I would at least have started the color work by now, but you know, entre pitos y flautas, like my partner would say. Should I say much more of this? I don't think there's very much more to say. I'll repeat, because maybe somebody's jumping in and hasn't seen this project that I'm showing for like the 4th time now. I am knitting the Skye pullover by Mary Wallin. I'm knitting it in a Rowan felted tweed, duck egg, and brick possibly, but they are lovely colors together. And yeah, as you can see, the contrast is really lovely, and the slip stitch pattern is looking interesting. I am looking forward to washing this and blocking it out. It's quite hairy, but I suspect that this is a decent quality yarn, and most of the fluff will wear off quite quickly, and then it will be really lovely and oh, a lovely sweater. Just, you know. Oh, you know what? I had a sweater be kidnapped this week. A sweater napping. My mom came round to watch the baby for a few hours this week, and when I get back, she is holding up the Abrams Bridge cardigan that I knit. The yellow one. Well, it's a worsted weight cabled cardigan that I recently knit. I can put a photo there. She's like, "This is very nice. I was trying it on. It suits me perfectly. It's just my size." I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of oversized, and we're kind of the same size, Mum." And so she said, "Yeah, I'm going to buy it from you." Okay. I really didn't have any good reason not to, because she's very knit worthy. And so I don't know if it was bought, stolen, adopted, whatever you want to call it. It now has new home and a very happy owner. So Abrams Bridge has been adopted by my mom. And I'm gonna have to get on the whole knit myself a couple of cardigans plan that I have spoke about before. I have 2 cardigans in here, and they are amazing. It just needs to get onto the needles. So while I've been plodding along with my Skye pullover, I have been daydreaming about color work. Yes, not all over color work, like this kind of color work. I'm thinking something I can knit in summer. And who does color better than Stephen West, right? So I have been browsing his library of patterns. And then I watched, he does videos on the tutorials on how to do combinations of colors for his shawls. So I'm going to be knitting a shawl. And he does it so well. You really do get inspired to try different color combination, and his recommendations really really are nice. Like it's just swapping around. So I have ordered 3 balls of like this. The very trendy thing now is this puffy alpaca suri thing. So I've ordered some of that. A couple of balls just from Sandnesgarden. They have some lovely palettes. And I will try to combine them with some existing stash because I was looking at the Fantastic shawl by Stephen West. And I'll put the pattern photo up here. And as you can see, it has these nice bands of color work, texture, and it's always something different. So that really speaks to me because I don't have the patience to keep at it with shawls. I have Lingering What the Fade, with just needing the last color. Honestly, I could probably just cast it off by now because it's massive. And I have a couple of other things that just don't get done because the repetition just murder. And not, which sounds weird because knitting is all repetition, isn't it? Which is soothing in a way. Why can't I make it work with shawls? This is a mystery. Maybe I just need to... I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining. I think this is just one of my own hang-ups that does not make sense. I'm trying to make sense of it, and now am I saying it out loud? It sounds ridiculous. So I'm going to cast on a shawl. The Fantastic by Stephen West is in the planning. I will probably have the yarn for it by next episode, so I will show you then. Maybe I'll even do a little video thing while I'm making my color combo decisions, and you can be like, oh, that, oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's an idea. I'll try to do that. But yeah, the Fantastic is in the planning. And then as I was jumping to it and just like, oh my goodness, now's a chance for me to use up all these single skeins of hand-dyed yarn that I have, and I realized I don't actually have that many single skeins of hand-dyed yarn. I have hand-dyed yarn, but usually if I buy fingering, I'll buy 2 or 3 skeins to make sure that I have enough for maybe a small top or something, because I like knitting garments, so I've not been buying so many one-off skeins. So that's okay. And then I was reading more into the pattern, and it seems you don't need all that much of each color. If you use 7 colors, you don't need a full 100-gram skein of fingering weight yarn to complete this. Like there are 2 colors you do need a full skein of. Then the rest of the colors you need between 100 and 200 meters of yarn. So most of them you can kind of get away with a ball of vinyl, I would assume, and maybe a little more. So that opens the box for actually not just stash diving, as they say, but also using a bit of leftovers, because other project that leaves you with half a skein of hand-dyed fingering weight yarn that is not enough for anything would be perfect for this. So I've collected a whole bag of that, and while I was collecting my leftover fingering weight hand-dyed yarns, I came across this one. I'd forgotten about this. So this is quite nice, isn't it? Oh, it looks actually much better on the camera than, but do I like it? I don't know. Now this is one of the things that I thought I was gonna be able to complete, but this is a stole. Oh goodness, what's the name of it? checking Ravelry. So this is the Coffee at the Grand Stall by Leslie Ann Robinson. She is the mistress of brioche, right? So she has lots of lovely patterns, and this is 2-color brioche. I cast this on again in 2018, worked on it for maybe 2 weeks of the summer, and then it stopped. So I think I will be ripping this out because there are a number of, I think it's this pattern bit, the brioche pattern is lovely. Not a huge fan of the moss stitch section, which kind of, I don't know. And the colors together, they kind of work, but actually I'm liking the muted contrasts better now than I did when I put it to one side. So I'm not hating on the color combo. I'm just not feeling the knit, really. Actually, I don't really feel the moss stitch section. This section is nice, but I remember it was this tricky. I did manage to knit it. It wasn't enjoyable. I kept forgetting what row I was on. I think that was it. And then thinking it was supposed to be a stole is to be quite a sizable accessory, isn't it? So there's quite a bit left to knit here. So I think I'm gonna unravel it, and then these 3 skeins can become part of something else. So these are hand-dyed Eating Cottage yarns that I got a while back. I don't remember the colorways. I can try to put them on screen, or at least in the pattern notes, in the notes under the video. So that makes them contenders for the Fantastic shawl as well. So that's it. I just wanted to show you guys this and talk a bit about it before I frogged it. It will be frogged. Because, yeah, I just don't want to finish it. And then, if I never finish it, it's a waste of yarn. This will just linger. I could cut the thread and just use these, but then what to do about this? It's not anything. It can't even... Could maybe be a pillow. Just not to have to... Could it be a pillow? Kind of. Now, it will be frogged for the frogging pile. Not so much going on with me this week then, so I think it was a rather short one. I did not, well, I lie if I say I didn't spend time on Instagram, but I did not stumble upon anything particularly interesting that I wanted to share. I think there is a whole lot of patterns for summer maybe to be released soon. There are a couple of publications coming. I think, well, the 52 Weeks of Shawls is already out. But since I was wholly unprepared to recommend anything today, I haven't made any notes of it. And now my brain is drawing a blank, which probably means that I need to stop recording and get a bite to eat. So thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. Not a terrible amount of knitting to share with you today, but hopefully it will be better next time. That next episode, as I mentioned, will be published on the Tuesday. So not next Tuesday, the one after that, which is the 18th of May, which is the day after 17th of May, which is Norway's National Day. There will be hot dogs, there will be ice creams, although be it at a socially distant celebration. But for sure, we will load up the freezer with anything that needs, and hopefully the weather will be fine. Yeah. I might even get my national costume out. We have one. We have those. So I have the one from Hallingdal, if you are curious. It is one with the waist is up here and it's 3 meters of skirt around, so it is nice and broomy and there's no problem eating ice cream in it. Yeah, as ever, the notes of things I mentioned in this episode are down below in the description box. They will also eventually be published on my blog, which is bythreadblog.com. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or add me on Ravelry, and I can never say that word nice. It's a hard word to say, Ravelry. If you want to follow me on Instagram and or that website, my handle is Silmoa. Silmoa. Oh god. Clearly it's time to wrap it up. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. I mentioned that earlier, so really over the top to do it now. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time, and give it a think and comment down below if you want me to do some sort of knit along or giveaway prize thing. Could be fun. I have some nice skeins I have no idea what to do with, so that's it. It's a wrap. Bye.